If you've ever been flagged by a C-list YouTuber holding the most dangerous handgun ever made, then go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I am your host, The Average. The GBRS group, Air Force, and Sauer walk into a bar. You finish the joke. Video enjoyer that your mom says that we have at home. Thanks for watching. Guys, the purpose of today's video is we are going to be discussing a number of very important updates in the Air Force's case, ongoing investigation in the death of an airman, and now there's been an arrest made, and as well as GBRS has made some statements in regards to their relationship with Sig Sauer, and I'm going to read some statements that they've made as well as some federal regulations. Before we get into all that, I know ASVAB scores can vary, and I know GT scores can vary, so bear with me as I make this statement. I do not represent any organization in any way. I simply represent myself, the Trench Grenade channel. When I speak on this channel, I do not represent the Department of Defense, the Department of the Army, or the Department of the Air Force, or any other organization. I am simply speaking on my own behalf. With all that out of the way, if you picking up what I'm putting down, hit the like button and comment down below. Is Sig Sauer innocent in this case, or is there more than meets the eye? I'm going to read a number of statements, and you're going to have to actually use your deductive reasoning and come to a conclusion on where you think things lie at this point. Keep in mind, it is an ongoing investigation, and we're not trying to influence that investigation in any way. So let's start off with the GBRS group. This is going to be a statement from DJ Shipley from the iPad of Truth, as always. So here we go. We do have two unloaded SIG handguns that we'll be referencing. This is an M18. This handgun is unloaded. Every handgun on set in the gym with us today is unloaded. We do have an M17 as well, as we will be discussing both of these weapons. Don't worry, they are on fire. Okay? So increased risk level. Add that to your risk assessment worksheet. Here we go. From DJ Shipley. When we heard about the airman's death, we were more concerned, his words, okay, I'm guessing he means we were more concerned, about him and his family more so than what weapon was used. We've taken a lot of heat for continuing to use the P320 platform. Memes were made and some were funny and jovial in a way. Some people even held us accountable for the airman's death. I don't think anyone held you accountable for the airman's death, sir, but we'll continue. Yes, we do like the P320 platform. No, we do not get paid by SIG to endorse the P320 or come to its defense. Everything we said is our personal opinion and we stand behind it. So they're saying they said, and I quote, no, we do not get paid by Sig Sauer to endorse the P320 or come to its defense. I declare integrity violation, okay? You are an integrity violation, sir. I'm going to read to you. I have sources that have whistle blown and sent me allegedly that you have received $250,000 per year since your agreement with Sig Sauer began. But since you're saying you don't get paid by Sig Sauer, DJ Shipley, I'm going to read to you the federal law that covers this type of situation. In the United States, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, has specific rules that require influencing content creators to disclose any material connection they have with a brand, like being paid, receiving free products, or other incentives. The idea is to ensure transparency and protect consumers from being misled. You, Goobers Group, are misleading your audience. It is illegal. Now, I have allegations, and I'm making allegations, I guess, with this, that you are receiving $250,000 per year. Come out, make a video, and explain what that is about. Come out and be transparent with that, and then maybe we can have a discussion. Let's continue. If the creator fails to disclose these relationships, they could face penalties like fines or legal action. Companies that partner with influencers can also be held responsible for ensuring that proper disclosures are made. Other countries like the UK, Canada have similar regulations. While it may not always lead to criminal charges, it can result in legal consequences, including fines. It is definitely considered unethical by most platforms. Advertisers can also damage the trust between the content creator and the audience. So that is it for Goobers Group. Again, I have a lot of, I would just call it potential evidence stating that they are receiving $250,000. I would love to hear from Mr. Shipley and his extensive natural point of aim nonsense on this topic. But let's transition into the Air Force's current investigation on the airman's death involving one of these bad Larrys. Again, locked. This gun is safe. Okay, we just have it here for demonstration purposes only. M18 service pistol. Okay. Air Force makes arrest in airman's death. This is public information. Okay, I'll put it up on screen for you to see right now from the Air Force Times. Okay, just want to state that for the record. The Air Force has arrested an airman in connection with the July 20th death of another airman, which involved a SIG Sauer M18 MHS service pistol and led to the service to suspend the use of the pistol following the incident. In a Friday statement, the Department of the Air Force spokesperson said that the unidentified arrested person is accused of making a false official statement, obstruction of justice, and involuntary manslaughter. Air Force's Global Strike Command pulled the M18 from use after, I'm going to redact his name. I don't want to involve the service member's name further because he, rest in peace, is not at fault in any way for any of this, okay? Obviously, it's a tragedy, and we don't want to have any issues at all with that service member, right? So rest in peace, Sergeant. Moving on. Remote Targeting Engagement System Operator in the 90th Security Forces Group at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Cheyenne, Wyoming, was fatally shot with that pistol. He was shot in the chest from the information that we have. The Services Office of Special Investigations is still investigating the service member's death. As with all individuals accused of a crime, the person arrested for this case is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, the spokesperson said. No further details about the circumstances surrounding this individual's death or the arrest were made available. The M18, along with the M17, is derived at 6 hours P320, and the Air Force and Army have used. However, the P320 pistol faced allegations that it is prone to going off accidentally without a trigger being pulled. SIG Sauer strongly denied those allegations and said that its pistols do not discharge unless the trigger is pulled. That is not necessarily true, Air Force. They have said that with a partial trigger pull, the weapon can go off. Look at their most recent statement. With the trigger being slightly pulled to the rear, the weapon can go off. That's their own recent change of statement on their own, where they stand with their own weapon, right? So, that's a lot. Let's transition to another story. Now, this next story from the iPad of Truth is definitely going to show potentially more of what is happening here. You guys, again, will have to use your own reasoning and come to a conclusion of where you actually stand on this case, keeping in mind that I don't represent the Air Force, the Army, or the Department of Defense in any way. From what we understand, based upon information, this is from Spectrum News. From what we understand, based upon information from military sources and otherwise, is that the gun fired without anyone's hand on the trigger. It was a holstered weapon, said Robert Zimmerman, attorney for law firm Saltz, that whole name. Very simply, a gun should not fire when it's holstered. Now, this is a firm, Zimmerman's firm, that represents more than 120 alleged victims of 6 Sauer P320 and its variants, including the M18, claiming the guns can discharge. So this is a law firm that represents people that are injured or killed by the SIG Sauer P320 handgun, such as this M18 service pistol that this airman was allegedly killed by. And we know that if anyone knows, then they know. I'm going to read their statement again a little bit slower. That way we can really get the full understanding narrative of what Zimmerman and his law firm are saying. From what we understand, based upon information from military sources and otherwise, is that the gun was fired without anyone's hand on the trigger. It was a holstered weapon. Okay. The Air Force Global Strike Command halted the M18 use and ordered inspections across its bases, citing safety concerns, pending investigation by the Air Force Office of Special Investigations and Command Safety Office. No final determination has been made on the cause of the discharge. That is based to the Air Force, to be very clear. I'm going to put away the iPad of Truth here and just give you guys my final summary and thoughts on this. Very based on the Air Force issuing M4A1s or M4s in place of the SIG M17 service pistol, okay? That part of this whole situation, in my opinion, is based. However, I think what's more important is that until this investigation is finalized, we don't really know. The fact that they came out and said an airman was killed fatally or killed fatally. It's the same thing, but whatever. But shot in the chest and died by a holstered M18. That was the first report, is that the airman was shot by a holstered M18, by his own weapon. And then there were speculations that he was shot allegedly in a restroom, in a latrine. Okay, and then other allegations have came out that I've received. This is all public information as well, that he was shot during a horseplay incident with it by another airman, right? And that could lead to the potential arrest. We don't know yet, right? That potentially there was a some sort of horseplay. Obviously, we shouldn't be messing around with weapons. Treat all weapons if they're loaded. Keep your fingers straightened off the trigger until you're ready to engage. Never point the weapon at anything you don't intend to destroy, and be aware of your target and its backstop. So then add on to that, even though we treat all weapons if they're loaded, that weapon was loaded, and most likely with the weapon on fire. I don't know that last part to be 100%, but that is how a lot of agencies carry the weapon. They go through the clearing barrel procedures as follows. Weapon on safe, lock the slide to the rear, visually inspect the chamber, the magazine well, and the bolt face, or in this case, right, where the striker would be, and then insert a magazine, pull and release, inspect the loaded chamber indicator, and then place the weapon on fire and holster. That is a lot of agencies' procedures in how they would operate or utilize their M18 pistol. In the Army, we keep that Bad Larry from the organizations. Again, I can only speak for myself, not for any organization. But we keep that Bad Larry on safe until we're ready to fire, just like our M4A1 or M7 rifle. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, let me know what you think about the Goober situation. I'll post that up as a screenshot over here. I'll post up all the stories that are public information. I'll post everything for you to see. But I want you guys to get down below and let me know what you think about all this. Who will be held liable? Who is actually guilty? Let me know what your opinions are at this point in the case. Thanks for being here. If you want to donate monetarily, I am going to be conducting, I'm going to leave it up to a vote. I will be conducting potentially a 10,000 round burn down on this M17. As you guys know, we've already done a 6,000 round burn down on the M18 and had zero malfunctions and zero issues at all with the M18. I am willing to conduct a 10,000 round burn down series on the Sig Sauer M17 pistol for the memes and for the testing, and to do my own testing and trials with the gun just to see where this thing could end up as far as durability, longevity, spring wear, you guys name it, failure to feed, failure to extract, failure to eject. Okay, I would be very curious to see where this thing ends up after 10,000 rounds. But you guys vote down below. If you want that burn down to happen, donate to the ammunition fund. I will leave a link down below for that. Okay, guys, that's a lot of talking from me. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And yeah, I'll leave you with that. Also, I'm rocking a shirt. He doesn't know I'm rocking his shirt. A colleague of mine, a buddy of mine, good dude, right? I'm not going to put too much of his business out there, but he's been there. He's done that. He's done all the things. He just started up an organization or a business selling pre-workout, protein, you name it. If you go check him out, it's right. His logo is right here. If you tell him Trench Grenade sent you, it might overwhelm him and make, put a smile on his face and be a good thing, right? Do a good deed. So if you want to support a small business owner who has risked it all to start this small business, who has no idea that we're doing this shout out, go over, buy some protein or some pre-workout from him and just be like, hey, Trench Grenade sent me, and I get nothing back from that. It just might be fun to do a good thing with my audience, reaching out to support him in his new venture. Okay, guys, I've talked a lot. You haven't talked at all. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Have a good night. Take care of each other. Do a buddy check. Take care of each other. If you need anything, make sure you guys reach out to the individuals or the organizations that can support you. Thanks for being here. Until next time, it's Trench Grenade, your average. Another day of SIG drama. Video enjoyer, like your mom says. We have a home signing out. Cheers.